Let's talk Theo Hernandez. Now that the game is over and I feel like everybody's calmed down, let's talk Theo Hernandez objectively. No bias, no agendas. Theo Hernandez, Milan, and in my opinion, the dilemma that Sergio Conceição, Redbird Capital, Cardinales, Zlatan Ibrahimovic have on their hands. It's a big dilemma, and a big decision is required. Now, in case you've been living under a rock and you don't know what's happened, but the one thing you do know, everybody is speaking about Theo Hernandez. Theo Hernandez cost Milan a place in the Champions League, and he was the main culprit, the main reason as to why Feyenoord knocked out Milan. What did he do? This is the first yellow card. Now, the thing that I just found ludicrous is the fact that even with just a yellow card, he would have been suspended for the next round. So I feel like Theo Hernandez should have gone into this game and knowing and telling himself, I can't get a yellow card no matter what. First yellow card on the 44th minute. So there's one more minute until half time. Feyenoord player has the ball in his own half. Going away from goal. It was an unnecessary foul. It was an unnecessary pull. It was an unnecessary drag. It was an unnecessary yellow card. Look at how many players are in Milan's own half to defend 4 or 5. Fast forward 10-15 minutes later, the second yellow card for simulation, for diving in the opposition box. I keep looking at this and telling myself, if you didn't go to ground, and you know the opposition player has gone to ground, so now you've got an advantage. Get the ball, fizz it across box, maybe try smash it into the roof of the net. You're in an amazing opportunity. Capitalize on it. But don't go down the path of cheating and trying to deceive and manipulate the referee. Because guess what happens? You get a second yellow card and you're sent off. Now, when it comes to Theo Hernandez, what is he? He is a 27-year-old player. He isn't young to be making these mistakes. He isn't young to be showing ill discipline. He isn't young to be having these lapses in concentration. He's a player that's supposed to go out there and lead by his performances, by his character, by his maturity, by the way he carries himself in a game. 27 years old, been at Milan for about 6 years, gotten about 250 appearances for Milan. This is a player that's cemented his spot in this team. Now, where the dilemma is his current deal is 85,000 per week, and it ends in 2026. There's rumours, there's talks. Milan are looking to secure a new deal. Now, what's the offer that's been put on the table? A contract till 2029. From what I've read, it's being reported 125k a week. So that's an extra 40,000 in his pocket on a weekly basis. Now the question comes, does he deserve it? Does he deserve this new deal? Does he deserve to be a part of this new Milan project, regardless of the manager, whether it's Conceição or somebody comes in the summer? Does he deserve to sign this big money deal, 125k a week? An extra 4 years on his current deal. It means he's about to play his prime football. He's about to see out his career at Milan. Does he deserve this money? Does he deserve this position in Milan's team? And that's the dilemma, because I look at it and I tell myself, from watching football across the world, I always feel like when players are approaching the end of their deal, they go down one of two paths. Some, they don't care. Why? Because they're happy to leave. They're looking to leave, and they give their club 150 reasons to let them go and 150 reasons not to even give them a new deal. The other path is some players look at themselves in the mirror and say, my deal was coming to an end, but I want to stay here. I want to continue growing in this team. I have so much to offer for this team. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give 150% every single week. I'm going to be the most consistent, the most reliable. I'm going to step up in my performances. I'm going to lead by example. I'm going to give this manager, this board, 150 reasons to give me a brand new contract. 150 reasons to accept my demands, to give me more money, to give me the contract extension that I want. Some players want 3 years, some players want 4 years, some players want 5 years. You can go down one of two paths. And for me, looking at Theo Hernandez this season, I feel like he's gone down the wrong path, because when I look at his performances throughout the season, Under Paulo Fonseca, I really sympathise with him. Why? Because I like Theo Hernandez. I think he is a talented player. He's a player that's shown his talent. He's shown his talent in the Milan shirt. He's shown his talent at international level. He is France's main left back. He's shown that talent. He's shown that growth. He's shown what I can offer this team in the final third. He's built this lovely relationship with Rafa Leao, and both of them on their day, they can take down any team in the world. I feel like he's gone down the wrong path, because I look at him this season under Paulo Fonseca. I sympathise with him, but at the same time I sat down and told myself, surely you can still perform under a new manager. Fair enough, you might not see eye to eye with him. Fair enough, you might not enjoy the way he manages. Fair enough, you might not enjoy the way he communicates with you. But at the end of the day, you are a professional footballer that plays for Milan, and you need to always put the club before the manager. You need to understand what it means to represent Milan. You need to understand what it means to start for Milan on a weekly basis. And you need to understand what it means to be one of the senior heads in this team. You are 27 years old. Under Paulo Fonseca, it didn't work out. And we all saw it. One day he was in the team. One day he was out of the team. I'll be honest, under Fonseca, how many good performances did he really have? Like, from the top of my head, the only 2 games that I remember are probably Venezia and Lecce. And those are 2 games that it's a standard for him to perform. The team's in the bottom half. Sergio Conceição comes in, and I feel like he's a manager of a different personality. He's a manager that can rally the troops. He's a manager where his entire ethos is based on fight, grit, commitment, giving 120%, not stopping until the final whistle. And when I look at him under Conceição, I feel like he's had some good games, he's had some bad games, and he's had some shocking games. Because I look at the Champions League against Feyenoord, home and away. I feel like Theo Hernandez was poor. But this is a big game. Big game is where big games are where the big names step up. And if they don't step up in the big games, you need to ask questions. So it takes us back to the main talking point, which is the dilemma that Milan have. And you could look at it one of 2 ways. Are Milan taking a big gamble by offering Theo Hernandez a new deal, especially when you look at his performances as of late? And I'll be honest with you, sometimes this could just be the beginning of the end. I've seen players across the world perform like this, get given a new contract, and that new contract doesn't give them a boost. If anything, that downward slope continues, and it gets deeper and deeper and deeper, and now you've got yourself a far bigger problem, because you've given a player a new deal and you've given them new money. So the gamble is, are Milan taking a gamble by giving him a new deal with improved terms, with more money, with an extra 3-4 years? And you have to bear in mind, this contract comes with assurances. It comes with guarantees. You are the main left back of this Milan team for the foreseeable future. The other gamble is Milan cashing in on a player of his quality, because I feel like from a technical standpoint, from a physical standpoint, from the fact that he's got chemistry with players, he's a player that's won the Scudetto with Milan, he's a player that's still got his prime years ahead of him. Is it a gamble cashing in on him? And in my opinion, I feel like a lot of Milan fans might look at it the same way, which is, if Milan were to cash in on him, can anybody guarantee me that they would replace Theo Hernandez with a player of equal quality? In my opinion, no. I've seen the recruitment, it's been hit and miss. Okay, would they replace Theo Hernandez with a player of far better quality, far better promise, far better potential? In my opinion, no. But I feel like where Milan might gain something is if they were to let him go, and you replace him with a player that's more committed to the cause, a player that's going to fight, a player that's disciplined, a player that's going to give you everything out there, a player that will give you the basics on a consistent basis, this Milan team would grow more. Because I look at Theo Hernandez, and I'll be honest with you guys, at times this season, he's really come across like a luxury player, where when things are going well, he steps up. But when it's time to knuckle down and step up because your team needs you, he shies away and he makes the wrong decisions, whether it's the decision making on the ball, whether it's the fact that he lacks discipline and he's getting sent off in games that Milan must win. And in my opinion, and this applies to every footballer in the world, you can have all the technical ability, you can have all the skills and tricks, you can be a player of ridiculous promise, but if you don't have the mentality, if you don't have the discipline, if you don't have the consistency, if you don't have the fight, if you're not committed to this team, to this project, to a manager, if you're not committed to growing as an individual, all of that technical ability that you have is useless to me. And I feel I've seen so many players across the world. You look at them and you're like, wow, what a player. But that what a player gives you one good game in 5-6. In those other games, he's a hindrance. He's a liability. Replacing him with a player that can give you the basics on a consistent of basis will elevate this team than keeping a player that gives you one good game in 5. And I feel like that is the dilemma that probably every Milan fan has on their mind, that the board has on their mind. What do you do? Do you keep him on and just hope and pray that maybe, just maybe, that new contract will give him that boost? But we've seen it go the other way around, where you give player a new contract and it just makes them more and more comfortable. Now I've got nothing to fight for. Now I've got nothing to play for. I'm getting extra money. I've got an extra 3-4 years. I can sit back and continue to perform the way that I have. But of course, in my opinion, sometimes you could also say maybe the fact that there's ongoing contract talks, the player doesn't know what the future holds for him, it can play in their mind, and there's a reason why you see their performances drop off. But in my opinion, I don't even feel like that's the case with Theo Hernandez. I just feel like he's a player that still needs unlocking. He's a player that needs a manager that can sit him down, mature his game, develop his game, teach him a bit more discipline on the pitch. And that's where the question comes, is Sergio Conceição that guy? Are Milan willing to take that board with Theo Hernandez for the foreseeable future? And in my opinion, as crazy as it may sound, I actually don't know what the right decision is. Because you could let him go and he steps up his game at another club and you always look at him and say, this was a player at Milan and we didn't take the gamble on keeping him, we didn't stand by him. Or you can keep him and continue to see this downward slope. I feel like the club and the player and his agent are going to have to reach a middle ground, and this player is going to have to look at himself in the mirror and tell himself, regardless of the money, regardless of the contract extension, I need to step up as an individual. Self-development, self-growth. It's your career. You've got your prime years ahead of you. You can achieve a lot. You can win a lot because of the ability that you have. But it all comes from within. Now, if you're new, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to let me know what you think in the comments. And I'll catch you guys on another one.